Fast martial arts lesson, which is live. I'm going to show you how to get started doing bow staff flow, or how to flow with your bow staff, also known as freestyle. Freestyle is what we used to call it. Now the new word everybody likes to use is flow. It's basically the same thing. Start with this basic warm-up turn. You're going to have to prepare your wrists, especially your hands. You're going to have to keep all the joints strong and healthy, safe from injury, if you're going to start to flow with your bow. Go the other way. I didn't intend for that to rhyme, but I guess it does, right? So we're just going back and forth. 30 seconds here. Doing this motion really gives you more flexibility, but also strength in the joints. One side, the other side, the joints, the wrists. This is also all about the bow flower, bow staff freestyle. And when we talk about bow staff freestyle, and this is just a warm-up, follow me. Bow staff freestyle is all about the strategy or the principles of flow, and not necessarily techniques. You can use any technique, any strike, any block, any spin. They're all okay. You can make them up. You'll come up with some new things. If you do it long enough, you'll come up with your own signature move. Like a skateboarder, the thing you do really, really well. But if you think about principles instead of techniques, in other words, don't try to learn what you do first, second, third. Just start to move, figure out what goes together best for you, and then you've got freestyle or you've got flow. All right, so this is your warm-up. Go into that overhand spinning. I want you to do this butterfly spin. This is all just to get a good feel for the staff. To lubricate the joints, stay safe from injury. Go one way for 30 seconds, bring it to a stop, back the other way. This side's still a little tender. Might limit me a little bit, but I think we'll be all right. All right, bring that to a stop. Go into one hand. I'm going to show you a lot with my left hand today. This is going to be the first move that you're going to want to learn when you talk about bow flow or freestyle. This is a technique, and again, principles are more important than technique, or your strategy, the theory, so to speak. But no theory is good unless you start taking some action. The first thing you want to do is you want to get into a move where you can go from one side of the body to the other side. So this is extremely important because you're striking, you're blocking, you're fighting, all happens with one side forward or with the other side forward. And so the first part of flow theory is that you have to be able to get the staff from one side to the other. And that's going to start with this endless spin. You should know how to do this. And if not, pick it up here. You're just carving that sideways figure eight. And then you have to understand planes, the different planes around your body. There's a plane to the side of your body, or to the front and the back. There's the one that goes through the middle. There's the ones that cross through the middle. There's the plane over your head. There's the plane that comes through your body this way. So you have these kinds of spin. But don't think about it too much, right? Just start to move. Once you figure out the moves, then you can start to think about the theory. You want this much theory. Let me show you how much. Less than an inch. And this much action. For every thought, every one thought, take 10,000 actions. So you want to learn how to flow or do freestyle, start moving. This is the first move. So this is the forward spin. Now from here, you have to be able to get it to the other side of the body. So I'm showing you how to build into flow or build into freestyle. Going from one hand to the other hand is the first step. You have to be able to get it here, and you know how to do that because you've done this in your warm-up, right? Now it's just a matter of going into this figure eight and then getting it here and grabbing it in the same exact way. Now it's in the other hand, do a couple here, but then put it back. So now when you start to talk about flow or freestyle, think about going from one hand to the other hand. And in the most simple way is just from one side of the body to the other side of the body. Now, when you go into a forward spin, this is a forward, I'm pushing down, forward, figure eight. The transfer or the change of hands comes on the opposite side of the body. This is my left arm. When I get it to the right, I grab it with the right. I bring it back over. When I get the right hand to the left, take it with the left. And that's the first step in flow, going from one hand to the other hand. And this is just side to side with your body. So you want to learn how to flow really well or do freestyle, start here. Get really good at this motion, and you can see I'm stepping forward and I'm stepping backward. I want you to step forward and step backward. First level. Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't have to be. You can take it up here. And a lot of times I realize I do some of the things a little bit differently in front of the camera than I do when I'm outside in the parking lot or if I'm at the park. I think that has a lot to do with just trying to, like mentally trying to keep it in view so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so the first step, flow, one hand to the other hand, most simple way, that forward spin. Then, before we reverse it, because we're gonna keep it simple, on the most simple level, for me the most simple level is that forward spin. Now I'm gonna go behind the back. That's the second thing that you should learn if you really wanna learn how to flow. Once you've learned how to go side to side in that figure eight, how to go from one hand to the other hand. It's all about one hand to the other hand right here, going behind your back. And I'll just turn around, you can see it. My right hand is grab it. Two ways to grab it. You can grab it this way, or you can grab it this way behind your back. I usually grab it this way because it's turning and I take it and I keep it turning. You can also just grab it this way and keep it turning this way. I don't know why, but I like to do it that a little bit more. Maybe it's because it's a little bit faster spin for me. You can do it either way. You can do it either those two ways or another way. No way is wrong as long as you're moving, especially when it comes to flow. And you'll figure out what totally doesn't work and what might work if you learn something else and what might work if you keep building strength and speed. But let's go back behind the back. So with the right hand, see that? I just go down, my right thumb is up, my left hand's under, and I pull it out. Now the next thing is over the head. And over the head is going to be as simple as turning this way. I'm gonna show you, see if I can just kneel down without a cameraman. Just bring my hands up. The spin doesn't stop. And that's where we talk about the planes again. I've got this plane in front of my body. I've got this plane above my head. I just bring my hands up and I keep spinning. It's the same thing. Then when I go from one hand to the next, I started here. You started with me right here. It's the exact same thing. Over your head, maybe kneeling, bending the knees will show that a little bit better, right? That's all that is. You were here and here. Now you're here and here. So the next level of flow. First level was going from one hand to the other, on one side of the body. Then the next level is going from behind the back. And then the next level is going behind the back and up over the head. Then you can put those together, over the head, behind the back. Notice I'm standing up when I go behind the back. That's because the staff is so long. If I bend my knees, it's gonna hit the floor. That's not really important. Just wanted you to know why I'm going up and down. I'm down here so you can see me, and then up here. Then you can put those together. One side of the body, behind the back, over the head, behind the back, over the head, one side of the body, the other side of the body. Now you've got flow with just three basic ideas, three techniques. Wow. One way of changing the staff from one hand to the other, which is this super simple way, pinky to pinky, palms up, right? This is why I have you start here every single time, because that builds into this, and then that builds into behind your back, and then up over your head, and then you can go back into here. So now you have three moves in combination, back into here, and then let's go to just a little bit higher level. Not so far out that you have to do a lot more training, but you can get this almost immediately, and that is reversing that spin. So now you're reversing the spin. Yeah, it's gonna get hot from friction with your hands, right? Is that what you mean? reverse that figure eight, and then I'm going here, here, one hand, it's the exact same spin. When I was here, I grabbed it on the opposite side. When I reverse it, all rules, when you reverse things, they just flip, right? So now I've reversed it. I'm gonna grab it on the same side, left hand, left side, take it with the right, right hand, right side, take it with the left. Now you have moving from one side to the other, that first principle of flow. But then I want to show you moving back and forth, because the faster you can get walking back and forth, the faster you're going to get into freestyle and flow and combination spinning. And then here's my favorite part, it's turning your body. And when you turn your body, I'm not going to move the camera so you can see my feet, but just picture, what is it, penguin. Don't try to waddle like a penguin. It's not a waddle, technically. But think about how like a penguin turns. Just small steps, and that's all you really have to do. So now, let's say we go into the forward spin. I'm gonna show you first this way, I'm gonna show you from the side. Hopefully it'll make more sense. Forward spin, and then I turn around. I'm facing the opposite direction, and when you're facing the opposite direction, I haven't stopped my hand, I just want you to see that now I'm going in that reverse. It's that reverse figure eight, right? So, awesome. You will, and it just takes a little bit every day. That's the key. Be a minor achiever. You just do like this much every single day. It doesn't even accumulate. Accumulates means you stack it on top of each other. But what happens is, because your brain, you go to sleep and you come back and your effort creates more reward through that consistency. So it accumulates, but it also appreciates while it accumulates. So it's like, it's compounds, that's the word, compounding interest. So you get better faster with daily practice. And it's much different than if you did like once a week. You're still gonna make progress once a week, but if you do it, but let's say you did an hour a week on one day. You're gonna get better if you cut that hour, that 60 minutes, you might not have 60 minutes, do 5 minutes at a time, 5 or 10 minutes every single day, add that up, and then it accumulates, but it also compounds. So you get much better faster. And there's all kinds of brain science that shows why that's right. It's like a language. So you're going forward, hand to hand, spinning, and then you simply turn. And by turning, you're in the reverse. I'm going to show you, I'll be spinning forward this way. I turn around, and I'm in the reverse. So now you have a new level of flow. You have going in one direction, and then just by turning your body, you're going in a different direction. But watch, it happens here too. Forward spin. I bring this, my body, I'm just going to take one step and turn, and I'm going to be facing the other way. And by doing that with just one hand, I'm now reversing. I turn back around, and you're forward again. So this is another level or concept of flow. Just by going forward here, turn your body, and now you're in the reverse, right? And then you can even just, without moving your feet at all, you're spinning forward, you bring your arm across your body, and by doing that across your body on the other side, you're now in that reverse spin. You bring it back around, and you're in a forward spin. So that's two different concepts, two different ways that you can put flow. There's many, but those are the two most basic, two really important ones. The first one is building from one hand to the next, behind the back, over the head, back into that spin, in any combination you want, and then there's turning back around. Then you put them together, go behind your back, you drop it, you pick it up, and you keep going. That's the key. Drop it, pick it up, keep going, add in a wrist roll. Every once in a while, change directions there, come back here, spinning, faster and faster, faster and faster. And that's all there is to flow. I know it seems like it's oversimplified, but it really is a simple concept, simple idea. Remember what I said earlier? This much. That's how much theory you want. you take like 3 thin quarters, 3 quarters, 75 cents, put them together on the side. That much theory, that much philosophy. And then you take a stack of $100 bills about this thick, 10 grand, that much action. So you need 75 cents of idea and $10,000 worth of action, and you will master the flow. That's it. So that's a beginning point. I would give you 10 more rules, but get those 2 rules down first. One more time, fast recap. One hand to the next. Let's rewind all the way to the beginning. I have you do this as a warm-up for a very specific reason. It really strengthens everything in here, loosens it up, gets the blood flowing, but it also is the beginning of all of the spins and all of the turns and even all of the strikes with a weapon. 2, you go from one hand to the next. It's part of your warm-up, And that is so that when you get into flow or fighting, and think about what flow really is. Flow is getting the staff from one side to the next, adding moves together. And when you fight, if it's combat bow, and you're doing it for demonstration or for fun or competition, or even self-defense, you would want as many moves to be accessible as possible. And the only way you get that is by having all those different moves together. But it's not the technique, it's the philosophy, it's the theory or the concept of flow. And so the first rule of flow is go from one hand to the next. And then behind the back, over the head. Those are all techniques, behind the back, over the head, from one side to the next. Those are the techniques, but the concept is going from one hand into the other hand. You have to know how to do it in the most basic way. If you're 5'7", start with a 72-inch, which is a 6-foot staff. You can always cut if you want to. If it's way too long, you'll find your hands are up here so you don't hit the ground. If it's more short, it'll be right in the middle. But get the longer one first. If you have the choice of buying one, buy the longer one, and then don't let it hurt your feelings if you cut an inch or 2 off. There's nothing wrong with that. The basic idea is it's about your height or just a little bit above. But there's no hard and fast rule. I'm sure somewhere, if you look somewhere, someone has come up with the idea that there's only one way, but I'm gonna say, I don't know. If there is one way and I disagree with it, I'm just wrong, right? And I'm okay with being wrong. I'm just telling you what I know. All right, so you have that first idea or theory of flow, and then the second one was turning your body. I'm gonna show you it going this way. Going forward, I'm spinning forward just by turning my body. It now becomes a reverse spin. So by turning your body, and then I showed you you could do that also with just one hand. It's going forward here just by bringing your hand across your body. Well, I didn't let it turn. By bringing your hand across your body, then that is a reverse spin. You bring it back around, and then I said you can put those together when you start to spin your body, and so your feet are turning, and you're going from hand to hand, and it's that same basic idea. So work on those 2. Let me know what else you want to work on. Check the links below. Go to my website, my personal website. I'm starting to throw a bunch of stuff up on there. It's pasquinelli.com. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.